swinging.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast.
We can say fuck.
With Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I don't care, I've been smoking, this is cool. That's a decent amount of sausage. This man needs a doctor! Yeah, I just hope they're tasty. What's up with these clowns, man? Cut the lights and went through people's pockets. Don't you point that at each other. Let them smoke a little. You need to, step it up to that point. We're not gonna lead with them. We're not gonna lead with them.
Can we name this real quick? This will be called the Italian Caves and Cautionary Driving Tale.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, the wonder of Italian caves and a cautionary driving tale.
Alluring.
We were in Italy recently, and down in the southern coastal area, it was late evening, and a friend of mine from Germany decided to meet us out there, and so we were kind of going on like a little adventure / hike, and there's this mountaintop that you can climb up to the top of, and it's all steps the whole way. And there's like this little hidden village up at the top, and you can grab some food. And so we did that. We did this little hike, and it's very picturesque, and it's just set in this mountain town, set in all the cliffs and everything. It's just a beautiful place. We're on our way down the mountain, and there's all these little offshoots and trails that you can take. And as we're coming down, there's all these like glowing bugs. I think they're called lightning bugs, actually, or I don't know what the actual term for them, but lightning bugs, we'll just go by that.
Oh yeah, we have them here on the East Coast.
Yes. So it's like kind of like this little magical forest area. And as we're walking down the path, I look on the right hand side, and we kind of go offshoot away from the road, and we see this light hitting this giant metal door on the side of the mountain. And we think, okay, let's explore this. And as we walk towards it, we look inside, we just kind of peek our heads inside, and you can hear just the sound of just countless bats.
Oh shit.
Bats, an insane number of bats. And we're like, oh my gosh, so cool. And we turn our flashlights on our phone to see what's like going on. And we shine inside, and you can see the inside. The ground is covered this extremely colorful fungus or something like that. You know, it's like really visceral, and this cavern just goes in endlessly. It's like this tunnel. And you can't see what's at the end. It's just so dark by the time it goes further down. So we're looking around and, just kind of checking it out. I'm looking around the doorway as the light turns on. I'm realizing it's just covered in webs. And there's these spiders that are, each one's about like an inch wide or something like that. They're like kind of sizable spiders everywhere. And my friend decides to walk in. He's like, dude, you got to come in and check this out. I'm like, I think like the spiders all over the doorways.
It's an omen, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna hang out right here for a second. So he walks in a few feet, and he's just looking around. He's tripping out, and he's like, man, this is so cool, and he's just excited about it. And as he's walking towards the exit, he's just kind of looking at me, and he's like in a good mood, and he immediately, you see the look of terror on his face. And he freaks out, and he ducks, and he runs out the door, and he's like, back up. And he runs out the door. And he's like, oh man. And I could tell he's visibly shaken. And I'm like, what just happened? And he's like, I just saw the biggest spiders I've seen in my life ever. They were massive.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what are we talking here? Like tarantula size? He's like, no. He's like much larger. And I'm like, where? He was like, they were hanging out right above your head in the doorway. And
oh fuck!
I freaked out, and so we.
Wait, caveat. Chris and I both have like mild arachnophobia.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know,
Who doesn't?
Too.
I mean, you don't want to be covered in spiders.
Yeah. So, and especially giant spiders, you don't really know what they are. Usually the giant ones are harmless to people, but like faced with, you know, seeing what it is, you think that probably can kill me. You don't know what it is. I'm not going to assume that it's harmless. So I think we're genetically predisposed to being afraid of things that crawl with fangs. So, so anyways, we kind of peer in and just with our flashlights, because we got to see this thing, and their bodies are like the size of your phone and the legs stick out from there. So they're the size of your head. The spiders are the size of your head. And there's two of them hanging out by the door. And they were just super weird looking. And massive, and I can only assume that they're eating bats or something. They're probably thriving in this environment. The bats go to fly out the door, they just catch them and just like swallow them whole.
Yeah, that's why they're the size of a fucking baseball glove.
But it's like nobody talks about this. Why don't we know there's giant spiders in caves in Italy? You know, like this isn't a common.
No one survives to tell the
tale.
Dude,
is that what it is? You know, they just they swallow. The fungus gets rid of the body. It swallows its carnivorous fungus, and then it eats the people that go. Yeah, I don't know, but it was the craziest thing. I've never seen spiders that big, and just don't. Moral story: don't just go venturing into caves in Italy.
Yeah,
you don't
ask
know.
around, talk to some locals.
Yeah, talk to some locals. Say, hey, what percentage of people make it out of this cave when they go in?
Are there deadly things on this adventure that I'm headed out for?
Yes. Yes.
See, that's the one thing the cold has up on the tropics, man. Is like the large fucking arachnids don't fucking happen.
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Like
what
in the Northeast,
is that?
we don't have those large spiders. We don't have tarantulas or any of that like bird-eating spiders.
They don't survive the blizzards.
What's really interesting is we told you guys last time we were on, because now we're friends of the show, you know, last time we were on, when we were in Iceland, we told you the story about the van, right? When we went up the mountain.
Mm-hmm. The Germans that were trying to kill you.
Yes.
Goddamn Germans.
Okay.
Man.
So, we slept in the van a few nights. We like set the van up so it was real nice to sleep in. And one of the nights, I feel something crawling on my head, and I swat it off my head, and then I hear it hit my friend, like it makes a noise. My friend's like, what was that? And we turn on the light, and there was a spider, and we killed it. But I later looked up the stats, and Iceland's like, there's hardly any spiders in the whole country since it's so cold. And I just happened to get one like on my face when we were sleeping. So that was
killed
really...
Iceland's only spider.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal with it was, but what are the odds? So, okay, now... So you guys heard the cave story. So we have bonus story now.
Oh, okay.
This is less of a story, more of a cautionary tale of when you are in southern Italy. It could apply to Italy in general also, but specifically southernmost Italy.
It's notorious for being difficult to drive in.
Yes. So, all right. So Chris and I are both in Italy. We were split up. I'm with my girlfriend at the time, and we were just coming in from the Florence area. So we were driving in from more northern Italy to southern Italy. And my girlfriend and I are navigating to where our Airbnb is at. And we're driving along the coast. The roads are very narrow, very windy. It's very treacherous, but still somewhat doable. And we noticed to get to our Airbnb, there's like 2 routes to take. We only have to go like an additional 2 or 3 miles. One route's going to take 40 minutes to get there. The other one's 20 minutes. Because the roads are so windy, it takes forever to go a short distance. So we decided to go the shorter route. And we start climbing this mountain through like this like village town. And the roads are all getting like cobblestone like. And we turn down this one street, and we're going straight. We have to go straight down this road for like 2 miles. And as we're going down the road starts to taper smaller and smaller and smaller. And it just keeps getting smaller. And we have to fold in the mirrors on the side of the car. We're driving a VW Polo, which is kind of like the equivalent of a Golf. So it's a pretty small car to begin with.
Yeah.
And so we fold the mirror in, and the road keeps getting smaller. And I'm not exaggerating when I say we maybe had like maybe a few inches on either side of the car at this point. And it's getting so narrow and so windy that backing up really isn't even an option now. And so we kind of have to keep trekking forward, and we were getting freaked out that we were going to have to get like towed out or something like that. We didn't know how long this road was going to go on for. And we approached this like sharp turn, and this moped comes like screaming around the corner going really fast, and he brakes like a foot in front of our car. And he flips a 180 and drives away, and we just barely get out of there without scraping the side of the car. But it was very stressful. My girlfriend was crying. She said, "I never want to go down that road again." It was just insane. And
take the scenic route.
I drive stick at home, so it wasn't too bad for me because like all the cars out there are stick shift. Yes. But so we get to our Airbnb, we're getting checked in, and I start talking to the host, trying to figure out where a good restaurant in town is, and I basically told him how we came in and how we want to avoid that road. Like we don't want to go down that road anymore. And he starts laughing, and he tells me that that's a moped road. And like,
oh no,
you're not even supposed to go down it as a car. But Waze decided to take me through there because it was the shortest route. I think the street was called like something Via Michelangelo, but we filmed it on the GoPro because it was so absurd. Man, I was stressing out hardcore because I really thought we were gonna get stuck.
It's like, so that's why that guy on the moped was like cursing at us in Italian.
Yeah, because he acted very annoyed when he had to turn around because he couldn't pass. There was no room for him to get around. He had to turn around and drive up the hill. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that's,
I think having a guy on a moped cursing at you is a common thing because I had the exact same thing happen.
I feel like it's not a true Italian trip until there's a dude.
There's a guy on a moped who almost like runs into you. I mean, it might be your
fault. And then yells at you.
But yeah, he yells at you. Yeah, the one that I was on foot.
And Vila was nice. You know, the food was great, but the smile really came when I got that first "fuck you" from the moped.
Then I really felt like I was there.
That's when I knew.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. Just like driving in that country is intense as it is, but nothing compares to like that particular trip.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. That is a harrowing tale of fucking driving a car where it should not be.
Italian mopeds and spiders.
Yeah,
both will kill you.
Both can kill you.
I feel like we have a theme of telling you guys like tales from abroad.
From afar.
Yeah, from abroad, exactly.
Yeah.
We like it. You're cultured.
You guys live on the edge. Well, welcome to American Slacker Podcast. Woo! As always, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jesse, and today we're joined by Betablocker, Chris and Ryan. Happy to have you guys back for the second time.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be back.
Like I was telling you guys earlier, I've always wanted to be a friend of a show. And now we're friends of the show.
We're definitely friends of the show, and we're big fans of yours. So
thank you.
The virtual door is open anytime.
We appreciate it.
And you guys actually reached out to us this time.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You got a lot going on, it sounds like.
Yeah.
We do.
We released a single 2 weeks ago, and we have an EP coming out pretty soon. We're excited about everything.
We're excited as well. We've been listening to "Make You Happy," the one that's been released so far.
Yep, that was the first single. "Make You Happy" just came out last week. We're actually releasing the music video for that next week. So we're pretty excited about that. That's something we worked on a few months back, Chris and I. And so it's going to be our first music video to be released to date, and we're excited to share it with everybody.
Now, awesome. we know that you guys like to be sort of incognito, if you will. Mm-hmm. How does that work with a music video exactly?
So we are wearing
full gimp suits,
full outfits, full masks, it's got kind of I don't even know actually really how to describe the vibe, but the image on the cover of the EP or the single that we just released, that's got our masks on it and everything, and yeah, it's just kind of, you know, we want to separate ourselves as, you know, individuals. We've talked about this before, but from our music and the entity that is the music, and we like to create, you know, like a little escape for people and create a world that our music exists in. And so it's indicative in our, you know, style and the way we want to present ourselves. I think it's like an extension of the sound. So yeah,
we like to have fun with it too.
Yeah, we like to have fun. We like to look a little crazy on stage, and you know, I think it makes it more fun. People take themselves way too seriously, and I think there's room for some of that wild, you know. Just look at Prince. He's like Prince, Bowie. Like there's so many classics. We love them, obviously because of their music above all else, but they were over the top. They were over the top, and there's something we all appreciate about that. It's people that aren't afraid to just be wild and to just put their freak out on display a little bit.
If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. You know?
I think so. Yeah.
I heard this interesting story the other day about Alice Cooper, because he was also another guy who got weird on stage, and he dressed up in all kinds of awesome outfits, and he became like a different person. I heard this story that growing up, he was pretty shy. He used to get made fun of a lot for being like a teacher's pet, right, in school. And he was kind of a nerdy looking dude. And his mom, I think, was into Santeria. I think that's what it was.
Okay, which I think is like South American voodoo or something.
Yeah, so along those lines.
It's essentially I mean that's like probably a generalization, but
but that's close.
Yeah, like my her family's from El Salvador, and there's a lot of people who practice Santeria there. I think it's mixed up like an African religion and some other things, but I think that's what it is. But basically, there was somebody over at the house that was like a friend of the parents. It might have been his aunt, but there was like a kind of like a spiritual type of lady there, and she was doing some type of seance, and it was like some kind of reading, and she said that she was like harnessing this ghost named Alice Cooper from the past, and she was like the medium to be the voice of like this ghost, and she told Alice Cooper, like, I am Alice Cooper, and this boy next to you is like the reincarnation of me. And so that's kind of how he got his stage name, and he kind of took that and ran with it, and he built this alter ego to go on stage, and I guess he performed at his high school for the first time and like freaked a lot of people out, but everyone loved it. And I guess some of the dudes that became in his touring band were people that saw him that show and like wanted to be a part of what he was doing. So sometimes getting weird on stage is like, I don't know, there's something about it that people just like, it makes them want to have fun.
Don't be afraid to just let your inner freak out a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially. And I mean, I think that's why people pay to come see shows. You know, it's like, especially I go to a lot of festivals. It's like you get to be like a different person almost when you go to these places. You know, like I full on embrace it, man. I'm wearing like full on festival like shirts and shit and like necklaces and shit. You know? Like, I love it, dude. Like, you know, but like I never like look like this in normal life, you know, but it's just like you get into it. You get into the weird state, and I think what you guys do is very unique. And this new approach like that I'm seeing, like you're coming public with it. Like your ideas are like really becoming like transparent to the public now. Like the masks. I fucking love that cover, man, where you guys divided your masks and you get a perspective of both of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and it's there's like another thing when you go to a festival and you're hanging out with all these people. It's like there's a whole other aspect of humanity than like what we get to do in our society where everyone's going to work, and there's a lot of stuff that bonds us together and joins us. And I feel like getting together in these festival types environments, people are able to tap into a part of our humanity that in everyday life we kind of have to neglect. And
yes, community.
Yeah, exactly.
Community, man. I've got to say, like, I've never had we had one unpleasant experience going to a Baltimore festival where my girlfriend's phone was stolen, but that was like a random event, and it happened a lot there, so it was like kind of a scheme going on.
Okay.
But like, besides that, man, I've got to say, we've gone to a ton of festivals, and
you're big on the festivals.
Fucking amazing. I can't wait to take Jesse to one. When I come out to the West Coast, we're gonna go to one, and it's so different, man.
The only festival type thing I've experienced is like Warped Tour. You know,
yeah, this is different than
it's a little bit different.
I loved Warped Tour growing up, man. I love.
Yeah, I think it's the last year for it too.
Oh, really?
This is the very last year.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
The death of pop punk
to an end. Yeah,
most festivals today, music festivals, are like no aggression at all. It's like, you know, like even the pits are just like kind of like a loving mosh pit. It's really odd. Pit. You know, going from like the metal scene in like Poughkeepsie, New York to this is like, whoa.
Yeah,
Very
you know,
different.
it's weird though also because there's a wave of new pop punk bands, and like I should say not just that, but like emo, and I don't want to classify it as purely that, but there is another wave of that's happening right now. So it's interesting to see the resurgence of these, like this sound from like 15-20 years ago, and it's coming back again right now.
Everything's cyclical, it seems like.
Yeah,
right?
Very true.
Always
in some sort of way.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because Warped Tour is ending, but then that sound has a resurgence.
I know. Hopefully they bring it back, man. It's kind of crazy to see the end of the Warped Tour. It's the only festival for like just the pop punk. Like,
yeah, I feel like it might come back. I feel like sometimes things go away and then they come back and everyone's just like way into it.
Sometimes things need to die for a little bit for them to be fresh again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the seasons.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah.
We got Mysteryland over here. It died. It's a big festival for the East Coast, and people are just like, there's a community of people like trying to rally to get it to come back.
Something else, usually something will fill the space. If it's better or worse, we don't know.
It was worse.
Yeah.
Something did. Yeah.
So there
Mysterylanders. They even like kind of ripped the name off. It was pretty sick.
Wait, they took my last name?
Yeah, they did. I told you about this. You forget it because you're like,
I didn't sanction this shit.
I did not okay this.
Copyright.
Your lawyers didn't get on that? Shit.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, man.
Get him on the phone.
I think you need to hire a new team.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just kind of part of it. You know, some things fade out, and it's sad to see them go. And I think when you get enough of the community asking for it, you might actually get what you're asking for. You know. And so we'll see. But I
kind of like you were talking about when things are cyclical. Chris and I were reading something from like Toto the other day. Like they were, you know, they kind of had their heyday in like the late 70s and 80s. But there's been like
Africa.
Will forever live on. I mean,
that's the thing.
They won everybody's hearts.
Yeah, and it's funny
They've
because
become a meme too.
With our generation, like we've taken very kindly to Africa and like a few other of their tracks, and they've seen like this whole resurgence in like a fan base and like a younger generation they never expected.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're actually shocked by how big that song is now.
Because it used to kind of get bagged on by critics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they were not liked by critics,
which is kind of weird because their stuff was awesome.
Crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, there was
it's
like
a cool song.
There was like a Rolling Stone article for that album. I think it said it was like the epitome of bland or something like that.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of the most unique songs that just like it doesn't play itself out. You know, like granted, I'm not listening to Africa on fucking repeat.
That's where you fucked up.
That little melody to do 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 do. Like it's catchy for sure.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
I mean, those guys were all studio musicians. It was like a super group of studio musicians that were like, yeah, let's do our own thing. And so,
cool.
They're all very talented, you know, writers. And
music video wasn't bad either.
No,
I
love it.
No.
I think they're using some good green screen effects back in the day. That was like a little. They had some sort of compositing. I was like, you know what? You got to give them credit for pulling that off.
You did good, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was before Spielberg pulled off Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Then things changed after that.
Right.
Yeah. So going back to the live thing, you guys are hoping to do a little bit of live performances.
Yes, absolutely. So that's definitely mean, we've been wanting to get on that for a while. We have a few other things we need to finish up first.
Yeah.
We have this EP coming out, which we've already dropped the first single from. We have another EP we're going to be releasing sometime this summer, and once that is starting to release, we will be getting on the live aspect of our group. So that means DJ sets and also live performances.
Yeah, there'll be two different
That's big.
things.
Okay.
We've been looking forward to it. We'll be working with some really talented musicians with the live show, and the DJ set will be a very different thing. Also, it's kind of like one will be, focused around, specifically music and playing and like that whole live feel with a full band, and the other will be more of like a dance, kind of like, an electronic dance kind of vibe. So
that's awesome.
That's really awesome. Now, are you planning to like go to festivals with this, or
we're obviously whatever is gonna suit the style of show that we're playing, and
yeah, if it's like a dance music festival, we'll probably be doing DJ sets.
Yeah, if it's the right, it's the right setup, then yeah, obviously, we wanna bring our music to as many people as we can, So
yeah, I know a lot of artists like to isolate it. They won't touch the festival scene. They want to just go out there and do the work, doing the headlining or
I'd imagine
a certain amount of artists.
I'd imagine it's different too, playing like outdoor versus indoor, which a lot of festivals seem to be outdoor. Yes. And if your visuals don't work for that,
you get a daytime one. It's hard to incorporate your light.
Absolutely, and that's going to be a big part of our show. So we have all the lighting and projection mapping we want to do. So that's going to be a big part. That's going to be a big part of our show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's a great thing. Like, honestly, that's what catches me is like, you better have your fucking light show to game. Like, that's what I want to see, like it's half your battle doing a live performance these days.
I've talked to some people recently who have been going out to some different shows, really great groups, and they're kind of newer, and the music was great, but they hadn't put any effort into the visual component of it, and it's still great to hear the music.
You can't blame artists for that either. Too,
it's just
very difficult.
It's
a different beast.
Yeah, it is, and we just feel like it's so fun. And Chris has a strong background in visual arts, so it's something we both really enjoy.
Yeah.
If we're able to combine the two, we make it more immersive, more fun, and it's just more of an expression also that we can tack on to the sound also.
Right.
Yeah.
It just
I've got to say,
immerses
you guys
you.
always have the visual pleasing aspect going on, so it's clear. You guys put a lot of work into that element.
And if you do end up in the Bay Area, I definitely I'm going to be checking you out, and you got to let me know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll fly out there if I don't live there yet. Like, you guys love.
If it's this summer,
for a show. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys will know beforehand.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop, because that's really high on our priority list, and we basically have our goals lined up for the year. Goal number 1 is we want to get a lot of music out this year, a lot of music. So, and the second goal is obviously get the live thing going. I really miss being on stage performing, and I feel like with this style of music also, it's going to be a lot of fun to recreate it and play with some really great musician friends that we have. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And the other thing about live is that it's always, kind of like a different version of that song. There's always like there's a different vibe live, and I think it brings a whole other aspect to any band. And you really get to see a different side of that music that you enjoy.
Yeah, like how we're gonna replace everything with just bagpipes.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Oh man,
all bagpipes.
Awesome! I've been waiting for that.
Yeah, but it's not real bagpipes. We're doing like MIDI controller bagpipes, so they're all sampled. Okay. It's like
Scottish trance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's getting really big right now.
Yeah. It's up and coming, I've heard.
You know what? Somebody's gonna do that, and we're all gonna eat our words.
Yeah, you know it, dude. Music gets weird, man. There's a lot of fucking genre breaking today. We're always talking about it on our show.
McSkrillex is going to really take it by storm.
Well, yeah, it's interesting too, because a lot of times when we're releasing stuff, we gotta keep in mind like what genre it is when we're reaching out to people. When people ask us, and it's really hard now with there's such a melting pot of music, and it's there's some groups that like to do very traditional genre stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of genre bending going on, and it's sometimes hard to categorize.
Well, it's good to be flexible too, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I have a lot of freedom. I feel great. I've been in projects before where, you know, maybe we put out an album and after that I feel kind of pigeonholed and I don't really know where to go from there. With this project, I feel like we have a little bit of breathing room in a lot of different directions. So it's very freeing to know that we can go, you know, a little more this way or a little more that way. And it feels good to know that we're not super pigeonholed in one specific sound that we always have to abide by, because that can be really challenging to keep it fresh.
Yeah, and I don't think an artist can survive today, you know, if they don't apply the genre bending method, like, and seek other sounds, because it's just people get tired. We have like an attention disorder across the board, you know.
So like Kanye is loved so much,
you know, and that's why I've got to say, like, I've been looking forward to your guys' release for a long, long time. Like, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, honestly, I'm impatient. So, but when this came out, I couldn't have projected this. You know, I had like my own expectations. I was like, I wonder what it's going to sound like. I wonder what they're going to release. It's just like it went on this whole other journey, and I was like, damn, they did it. They did it.
Yeah.
It's just, you gave us a sneak peek at some other tracks too, it's just it's fucking wild. I'm really enjoying the sound, and like I even had said to you, like, through a message, you know, new sound, because that's what it feels like to me, and I'm sure to you it's, you know, a sound that you've been working on for years upon years. But to me, it's just like you guys are an ever evolving artist.
Yeah, and that sound from this EP into the next one, it's constantly
there's
shifting.
Some evolution. I mean, there's always going to be some kind of common thread. But yeah, we definitely want to keep evolving, and you know, we're not just going to drop like a country record or something like that. We like to keep it in like some kind of a fan.
You're not?
Sorry, guys.
I thought you guys were going to really go hard.
We want to keep it within like some type of sound, and you know, we never really discuss what that is, but I think Chris and I both kind of know what that is, and so we just kind of do that, and we
know when it's doing it. We can't put it into words, but we know when the sound is what we want. Yeah.
It feels right in the heart, in the chest. I know
and speaking of which, we can't wait to show you some of the other new music we got that's going to be coming out later this year. It's we're really excited about it.
You guys are fucking busy. Like, with just this first EP that you're releasing, like, and you said, what is it? Every 3 weeks you're planning to release a track?
Yeah. So I guess in about 2 weeks, the next track will come out. Next week, the music video comes out. Yeah, and it's a lot.
I'm excited for that. I'm a very visual person.
Man, and I love your fucking Instagram, so I'm fucking high expectations, guys. I'm gonna let you know.
Thanks,
guys. Thank you. It's
which anyone listening, go and follow them on Instagram. We're gonna boost your numbers up.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I mean, you guys got a bunch already, but yeah, it's the most beautiful fucking scenery for any artist I've ever seen.
I love it.
We're gonna have a lot more of that. So we're
awesome.
We're, you know, I think when we want people coming into shows, we want them to have like an expectation of like, kind of like, this is the vibe, you know, and this is the world that we're creating, and we want it to be like an escape. We don't want it to feel like you're just going to see, you know, a couple guys on stage. You know, it should feel like you're not in your life for that moment. Right. You're somewhere else, and and that way you can experience that just as what it is, just for what it is something new and different. And that's something that we don't get all the time. We don't get to see things and like, that feels different to me. Then experience life through a new lens. That's what good music or art or anything should always kind of shift your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, some artists, they have a feel that it's almost like it should be just limited to just listening to it as a track.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you guys definitely have a sound that's so lively. I mean, I catch myself doing a little dance in a chair sometimes to the beat. And
that's me all the time.
It's just like, I feel like the way you're going to incorporate that with the live show, it's just going to go hand in hand. It's almost like storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. And it's nice to finally be getting this stuff out. Like, we spent the last year or so just kind of narrowing down what sound we wanted to do exactly. So it was a lot of writing and a lot of experimentation. So now it's cool to kind of be active, outside of just working in the studio all day. And so it's cool to be able to share it with people and know that the live aspect's right around the corner, and be able to share the music video aspect of things. And we want to be doing a lot more music videos also, because we also appreciate video, storytelling and
film.
I was gonna say, visually, like your Instagram and the art that you put out with your music, I get a feeling of Miami Vice meets Blade Runner.
Nice. That's actually awesome, man.
And I think it's really cool. It's awesome. I love the like sort of neon colors and stuff. And like you said, it's provides a depth sort of to the music. In general, I guess I'm just really looking forward to the video that's coming out.
Cool, yeah. I mean, we're excited to be doing more of that stuff, and I suspect as we do more and more videos, we just want to make them better and better. So
it's always a learning process, and there's always things that you're gonna wish you did better, you did different, and
it's always the case.
It's the same with music, it's the same with video, but it's a lot of fun, to feel like you're getting the hang of it. And
it's also a different part of the creative process, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like how much control, like creative control, did you have over the music video?
Entirely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna get too much in the process, but I was extremely involved in every stage of the process.
Yeah, let's put it this way: there's two of us, and there's only one other person involved with making the video.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and was that like a cinematographer? I'm guessing cinematographer, director.
Yeah. So we have we try to keep it very small crews as much as possible, because that means that you have less cooks in the kitchen,
right?
And also sometimes we're shooting in certain locations that I don't know, you guys aren't
trespassing now, are you?
Let's just say you gotta be quick sometimes,
never.
And so that's kind of part of it, and I feel like it kind of adds to the grittiness and the look of what we have. And I think that was crucial to this video.
Yeah, for this one.
Yeah. And so other ones might be different, but it was important that we kept a small crew. So yes, we were very involved. And I tend to work on like a lot of the visual stuff in general. So like post-processing and all that stuff. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we like to be very involved with every stage of our process, and
it's good.
it's not, it's great in terms of having creative control, but it's not great in terms of the fact that we are independent artists, and we have to balance time. And sometimes it means that we're not working on music if we're working on those things. And so it's a hard thing to balance, because the most important thing is that we're putting out our music, and that we're getting that to everybody. And we know that process can sometimes be slowed down by these other aspects, but you also can't really shut off that other part of you, if that is part of you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And it's important that you are balancing the two in a way that you're still getting everything done.
That's tough. I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Finding a balance to kind of fulfill all those needs.
Absolutely. And it seems like more than ever this year, we've gotten so much better at learning how to do that. So
yeah,
it's
good.
I could say that both Ryan and I would be classified within some range of what, I think if you go by like the DSM or something like that, it'd be like ADD or ADHD. And I find that often a lot of artists, I would say, fall within those categories. I don't believe in those types of, I don't think that they're disorders. I think our brains just work slightly differently than what society, it tends to lean towards. Like what's beneficial to society at that point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
We like having a bunch of worker bees and just just mindlessly follow these instructions, and you get your paycheck. And I'm not, some people, look, they thrive in that environment.
Yeah.
We do.
They can only thrive in that.
Yes. Yeah.
Some people, yes.
We cannot thrive in that. As a creative person, it's your brain is kind of wired a little different. And your reward system, you get nothing out of that.
Yeah, I've heard it explained how there's like introverts and extroverts, and you try to throw an introvert to do extroverted things. It's hard. It's really hard for them. And for people that like to create things, it's just as important as it is for an extroverted person to be around people. It's like a matter of it's a matter, not life
sanity
or death, but
in a lot of cases.
It's a matter of sanity. Exactly.
You know what, though? It can be a matter of life or death. I mean, not to be extreme, but some people who don't find that outlet, who their minds do work that way, they lose all hope for life.
No, exactly. They wither on the vine for sure. So it can be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a weird thing, because it almost comes down from the instinct of like primal. Like we come from a society of like needing to. Everybody had their role. Everybody was always busy.
Yeah,
and it's like you need to find that passion in today's world, or that hobby, or whatever it is that like you can get behind. Because if you have this shitty job that you just hate, and that's the only thing you got going on, like the majority of the 40 hours of the week, every week, it's like it's gonna really grind down on you.
Yeah, it's really tough. There's something interesting to think about too, and I've heard some anthropologists talk about it. They're talking about art and creativity being much more biologically rooted than a lot of people are acknowledging these days. If you think about the fact that like cave paintings predate like our ability to farm land and like the agricultural revolution. Cave paintings predate all that, so that kind of means
speech, right?
What's that?
Even speech.
I
think that's right.
So
I think we had like musical rituals before we even had speech.
So think about how deeply rooted that is. That prior to learning how to farm the land and how to raise cattle and stuff, we were painting in caves. So in a lot of people, it's so deeply rooted in our biology that you can't not listen to it.
I would say it's rooted in life itself as well, because if you look at some animals with like, say, mating rituals or something, with the way that they do dances and stuff, that could be considered art in itself. Birds of paradise doing dances to attract a mate.
Flaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is that not art in some way?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird to think about these patterns and systems existing outside of us as humans, but I think they do. You could even see like dolphins. They'll be playing in the water and they shoot these bubble rings out of their mouths and they play with them and they twist them around and they can like manipulate them. And it's like these little games, but they're like visually stimulated by it.
They also pass around a puffer fish and get high off of it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's absolutely true. So yeah, it's not even unique to us, but to assume that it's just some kind of like, oh, it's just fun. It's good that we have that because people need to have fun. I think it's beyond that. I don't think it's just something we do for fun. I think we need it. Yeah, I think we need it.
At some base level for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the fact that there's nobody, I mean, maybe I have to assume there's always a few, but there's nobody who doesn't listen to music, you know? Everybody listens to some form of music.
I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to picture the one guy that doesn't.
I've met one person, and I'm not fond of them, and I'm not going to name drop, but I have met one person. It's like they like to ride in the car in silence. And
I'm talking about you,
silence.
Jeff. You're weird as fuck. Get out of here. This is my quiet time. It's like, oh God.
I will sometimes. Actually, that's kind of odd that you say that. Sometimes I'll drive in the car and it's just leave it dead silent, but often that's after I've been mixing or listening to something all day.
Yeah,
and you just you're overstimulated. But
you got your dose.
Yeah, I've got more than enough of a dose.
I do that. I drive a lot, man, and I do the same thing. There is nothing like honestly turning that radio off. Honestly, like especially if you've got a lot of contemplating to go on in your mind.
Yeah,
just go for a nice long fucking drive on some back roads with no music or anything going on.
The car's like the best for that.
Oh, it clears your mind.
Something about being in motion feels really good.
Yeah. There is something. If you live on the West Coast, there is this distinct cultural phenomenon of like driving down PCH.
Oh, it's a big car culture. Yeah,
man, that's on my bucket list. I want to do that.
Yeah, it's something that
around Malibu's really nice.
You know, the whole coast, even the Pacific Northwest. It's a beautiful place, and honestly, you know, the roads here were built for the automobile. They weren't like an afterthought. And obviously that comes with its costs. We have horrible traffic. Our transportation system is pretty much garbage out here, you know?
Yeah. Public transport's like out the window.
Yeah. But I guess the one nice thing is just cruising down PCH with their windows down. I don't know if it's worth everything else. I don't think so, but
well, the nice weather's great. Not having to dig your car out to go to work.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's brutal. Fuck all of you, all three of you. You're all California.
I did my time. I don't want to hear.
I paid my dues.
I'm still here.
I was raised there, man. I fought my way out.
It's like you escaped the prison and you're just writing me letters telling me how awesome it is on the beach, and I'm just like, fuck you, man. I'm still printing license plates.
I'm fucking Morgan Freeman in Mexico waiting for Tim. What was it?
Fuck.
Tim so-and-so from Shawshank.
I'm him. I'm
Tim
the guy
Heidecker.
that supposedly murdered his wife.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, who was it in Shawshank?
Oh my God,
you know how to get tax breaks, so that's what
This is horrible that we couldn't drop that actor's name right now. I'm ashamed for all four of us.
Yeah, we all.
He actually went to my college for a year too.
Just do a very bad audio splice in there, so it sounds bad and people will know it's bad, but it'll be good.
Yeah, nice hilarious. Like sound bite in there.
Tim Robbins.
There we go.
Hey, you know that movie with Tim Robbins?
Remember that movie? Here, insert this one in there. Tim Robbins.
I'm using that one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for you.
Perfect.
Classic Tim Robbins.
Now, going back to your music, you got the sequential release planned out. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, is there any storyline possibly involved with maybe like the actual EPs or maybe the visuals for the music videos or anything like that?
Like telling sequential stories?
I'm just wondering, because the way you guys release is very unique. A lot of people...
Who are you talking to? Where are you getting your info from, all right?
Yeah, we want to know where
you know,
That's
like
pretty intuitive.
I can read you guys like a fucking book, so I'm just gonna let you know that. So I study your music, and basically it lets me inside of each of your souls.
Oh shit!
No, but really, I've been curious because especially since you gave us the inside advice of like maybe some more music, coming out later on in this year.
Mm-hmm. As of right now, each video will be its own entity, but yes, I do want to do sequential stuff like that, but that'll be like a different project. And that's further down the line, and that's kind of
digging too deep. Okay.
Yeah. So that's something we've always had interest in doing, and we need the right pieces in place in order to be able to pull something like that off, because it's kind of a more monumental task. That would be like doing a film that's scored by your musical soundtrack, like that kind of thing. But because when they're all in sequence like that. So yes, the answer is yes, but no, not immediately.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, as a fan, you get your own interpretations, and I have my own ideas of what these like songs mean, and I get a feel from them, and I'm like planning out like almost a music video in my head.
Yeah.
And like I that's one thing that caught me about you guys with like in my head. It's just like it literally was in my head, like processing. Like I was just like, damn, this is really cool. Like the journey it's taking me on in audio, but I'm making visuals out of it.
If we had it our way, and we'll get to this point, every song would have some kind of cool video to go with it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. If there was infinite time, I mean, I can only imagine what is going into your first, music video for Make You Happy. I can only imagine the work that's gone into it.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, what do you interpret? Like when you interpret things, like what do you take out of it? I'm interested as just from like.
Well, like, I don't know, like, I tend to feel like there's a storyline behind a song. Like, as an artist, I'd imagine, like, when you start hearing the melody, I don't know how you guys write, if you write a melody or if you have an idea first, but, like, I that's how I just imagined, like, that's how I wrote, is I had an idea, and I would craft upon that, and, I just, like, nothing in specific that, I'd feel like, I feel comfortable talking about right now, but like, especially since I've just been listening to the new EP like for a little bit.
Yeah.
But just like there's comeback stories in your songs, stuff that's just like
I hear a lot of loss too, even though there's there's an upbeat like tempo kind of or melody or whatever you want to call it, like feel to a lot of the songs. Yeah, there you go. Like some of the lyrics can be sad while the song itself is very upbeat.
If I had like a thematic that's kind of common in a lot of our stuff right now, would be, I guess, the way we engage with other people in our society now, like the way we look at, relationships, love, even friendships, the way we look at, I don't know, even our passions and our pursuits and things like that. There's a lot of unhealthy relationships with those things. Yeah. And how it's so easy to get caught in those things, and you can only look back in hindsight and be like, oh, that's what I was doing. Our obsession with, like quick media and things like that. Like we're addicted to the internet in a lot of ways. These are all kind of things that shape who we are as people and how we interact with people around us. And so a lot of the songs are about dysfunctional interactions that we have with others, and that's kind of a common thread that we have, even when the songs sound very upbeat, but that's kind of what you feel at the time. You're just like, I'm having a good time, I'm having fun,
right? Just going through the motions in a way, and then in hindsight things can be a lot more reflective. And and as far as our process, you're kind of asking like how we come up with songs. I think emotion is like what we feel an emotion from coming from a sound or something like that, and we build off of that emotion. And I think we don't go in with like an idea of like this song's going to be about this or this song. We start feeling something, and then we keep pushing that emotion until it's seen itself through.
Yeah, like a lot of times sitting down to write either music or vocals, we don't really know what that's going to be. and you know, we just start experimenting one way or another, and we kind of follow our instinct on that. And then in regard to the lyrics, you know, kind of being, if the music vibe is more happy, we kind of want to set it out where our goal was for the casual listener, you know, it's something they can get into and they can easily digest also. And then we wanted to have some depth to it and just kind of have a few different layers to what it is. So there's a few different levels of satisfaction if you choose to take it for that, you know.
There's like, just because things, you know, sometimes things might have a level of simplicity on the surface, there is something we like to have that, you know, be like the sugar coating, but like it's not that, you know, it's not about that, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're all like fighting our own demons in a way too. So it's like, you know, it speaks to that in a way.
Mm-hmm. It's speaking the fact that we're none of us are above it, you know?
Right.
We exist in it. We've seen it before. We've seen, it's not like, it's not us, you know, the lyric may be about doing those things, and not that it's like we're advocate doing those things. It's the fact that they exist and that we're all capable of doing it, you know? And it's kind of that aspect of it. We've seen that individual, we've seen that person experience that feeling or doing whatever it is that, you know, that lyric might be about, and the fact that exists and it's part of us, it's part of humanity, it's part of our existence right now,
and that's something universal too.
Yeah, we've all seen it. We've all seen it. So that's kind of, if there's in terms of lyrics, that's typically, you know, thematic that we like to explore. And in terms of the songs and that writing process, it's kind of like the lyrics are informed by the feeling, the emotion that the song gives. And sometimes it's contrasting, and sometimes it's because the feel is contrasting in the song that idea comes out lyrically.
And it also sounds good to the ears in a way of like, with taste, how you have to have like salty and sweet and like sour and spicy. Like it also has to have that. It kind of, I hear that in some of these new tracks that you've let us listen to.
If
that makes any sense at all.
No, it does. It does. Absolutely. Contrast is nice, you know, like otherwise everything's just like gray, just bland. It's
right.
It's there. Yeah. So yeah, I think contrast is an important element in anything, in any creative venture. You're trying to create a you have your backdrop or your background information. You create contrast, and you have the foreground information, whatever that is, and then you're contrasting the two, and it creates a perspective. You know, I think when you don't have perspective, then it's mundane. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to hearing more as it trickles out, and seeing more with the music videos and whatnot.
Hell yeah, that's gonna be out in a week. So it's gonna be here very soon. The first video.
Well, yeah.
By the time this is out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
it'll be out. So yeah, if you're listening to this, go check it out. There is a video for "Make You Happy,"
and it'll definitely be on our Facebook page.
Yeah, well, as soon as you guys release, we're gonna put a post up for it. So
awesome. That'll be sweet.
Now, do you guys want to throw out some plugs? I mean.
Wait, I wanna hold them accountable here. On the last episode, you said, like the last time that you were on here, that you said you were gonna train and do better with your plugs this time.
Oh shit! He dropped the gauntlet.
Bring it. I want to hear them.
Oh, okay.
What do you got to say?
Wait. I got it. We have a website now that has links to all of our social media.
Yes.
Nice.
And that website is www.betablocker.sound.com.
And is that beta blocker with the 3?
With the 3, yes.
Yeah. So
Betablock3r, sound singular, so sound.com.
So yeah, you guys can check out our website. It's got links to all our socials there. You could also follow us on Instagram at Betablocker with the 3, and then also Facebook.
It's that's facebook.com/Betablocker music.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be keeping everybody posted with news about releases and posting more.
And for people that want to check us out, we have our singles and some of our remixes are up on Spotify. That's where you can find like all of our original music. There's been people who have been asking about where certain remixes and stuff from the past have been. A lot of those are housed on SoundCloud and YouTube. But for our original tracks, Spotify is like the place to go to check out.
And Apple Music as well.
Apple
so you
Music.
can stream through Apple Music, Spotify, and you can buy songs on iTunes if that's your cup of tea. Yes. Those are our plugs.
How do we do, guys? Huh?
Oh man,
Huh?
you brought a tear to my eye. I'm so proud.
We did good,
That was
huh?
great. That was fantastic.
Man, we give you an A for improvement. That's
A
for
fucking
sure.
plus, man.
A for effort.
Yeah.
I'll give us
We've
that.
been training for this day.
We've been working
You
hard.
can tell it paid off.
Man, it's been fun, boys, and we appreciate it. We love having you guys on, and the door is always open. So maybe we'll have to have you on later on in the year when you guys have made even more of a commotion. We didn't even touch on, you guys have been like, with Just Make You Happy, you've been on plenty of websites, plenty of publications have been talking about you. I don't know if you know this. Indiatronica.org, highlightzine.net. There's plenty of sites talking about this. Fucking crazy, man. You guys are making waves with this.
Well, thanks, guys. I haven't been keeping too much of track, but that's good to hear, and we appreciate you guys taking this time and having us on the show and
Having a little fireside chat with y'all.
yeah, we are.
Yeah, shooting the shit with you before the show. That was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, you know what? That's the show before the show.
Yeah,
That's
where
always-
the real fun occurs. Unfortunately, you guys don't get to hear that, but well, if you guys want to check us out, American Slacker Podcast on Facebook, where you can partake in the American Slackers group. There's a bunch of crazy motherfuckers just like yourself there that you'll love interacting with. And also stop by the Instagram where you can check out the art for each and every show. American Slacker Podcast there, you'll find us. And last but not least, AmericanSlackerPodcast.com or ASPodcast.com. You'll find our main hub, the website.
You can also find us on Twitter and Reddit at AMERSLKR Podcast. All of our episodes also go up on YouTube, including the bonus episodes and all that shit. Please rate and review us on iTunes. 5 stars or nothing, them's the rules. And also tell a friend about the show.
Don't forget, if you want to get in contact with us, send us an email, AmericanSlackerPodcast@gmail.com. We'll respond right away. And if you want to hear from all the great artists in the world, including Betablocker, we only choose the best here. Search American Slacker Podcast on Spotify. We got a playlist that'll lead you to some great finds, including Betablocker. I mean, I can't say it enough. Betablocker.
Hey.
And also, you can become a sponsor of the show by heading over to our Patreon account where there's rewards. You can get shout outs on the show and access to all kinds of bonus content. And please visit our shop at americanslackerpodcast.bigcartel.com.
And if you want to get in contact with us on a personal level, you can find me on Instagram at MWGmedia and on Xbox Live at MattyG from HP.
And I'm on all dem shits at Landers the Plane.
Yeah, nice and smooth. Almost as smooth as Betablocker, but not quite to that level.
No, hell no.
Chris and Ryan, thank you so much again. We can't thank you enough. We love you.
Yeah.
We're big fanboys over here at American Slacker Podcast, and it's been a pleasure to build this friendship that we've got here.
Really
So,
appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Pleasure's
I
ours.
actually wanted to have a quick word with you guys when we end this, so.
Oh,
No, absolutely.
We'll get to that right after we
Yeah, we'll get to-
do
we'll
that
get
that little trademark thing we do, where we tell every
Yes.
one of you we love you for tuning in, and thank you so much. And don't forget to check out Betablocker, subscribe, get on them on Instagram, Spotify, all that. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
Driving to the
In a way, because you can pair the two and say like, oh, I kind of get where these guys are coming from, and you have a feeling towards it.
Ignore that.
Apparently my house is on fire.
Smoke alarm?
You alright, dude?
It's not me. I thought that was me. Shit.
It's
No,
either a
that's me.
truck is either backing up or someone's house is on
We'll
fire.
just wait until this ends.
Jesse, did you burn something?
No, Marley came home and took a grab, and I think she blew it directly at the smoke detector. Sorry about that, guys.
Hey,
No
no
worries.
worries.
Didn't mean
As long
for
as
the
your
house to
isn't
burn
burned
Yeah, you're
you
good.
know.
No, I'm good. My
That's the most
cat's just like, I can't keep him out of my weed.
Tell me about it, man.
You got that stony cat.
Garfield,
Yeah, Garfield was a stoner cat.
Yo, lasagna sounds great right now.
dude.
I haven't had lasagna in a while.
I'm a big eggplant parmesan fan.
Do you guys like your pasta al dente?
Al dente is great, dude.
If I'm hungry and can't wait.
I feel like once you've had it like properly al dente.
Yeah, when
when
we were in Italy, man, they
Just
they
a
did
little
it-
stiffer than usual.
Yeah, and it was so good.
But the noodles are made by hand out there, so when it's made that way, it tastes significantly better.
Well, you know, it's a different type of wheat altogether, too, right? Like, we fucked with the manipulation of wheat here in America.
Yeah, it's all
So they have a way less modified wheat that's way better for your stomach. So that's why, like, you won't feel like the strict effects you feel like from like a fucking pasta box from a grocery store here.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I remember reading about that, and then
It's kind of weird the way we mess with modifying wheat out here. Just side note for
it's
anybody
horrible.
anybody
We
who's
didn't know-
curious. Yeah, they would put like heavy like lead. They would use lead to modify the DNA of like these plants. So they would use like these compounds that are known to modify DNA. They break down DNA, and then
That was
whatever
to bulk it, right?
yeah, whatever result that they got, they would try growing different strains based on these like random modifications, and some of them would grow much faster. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take that one. Well, now we're just going to start growing this."
And that's why it's like probably more expensive over in Italy or whatever. Like it's just more of a process for their wheat because it doesn't grow as much. Like that's the whole idea behind it. We have to grow it quick. Like it's America. We got to fill that shit up.
there's one other thing I really liked about being in Italy in the grocery store. When you're getting produce or when you're getting any kind of fruit or vegetable, they have gloves they want you to put on. So if you're like feeling, if you're feeling if it's ripe, if you're touching the fruits and vegetables, you put a glove on. It's like, and if you don't,
That makes sense.
People look at you like, "What are you doing?
You dirty motherfucker.
Why are you touching all the tomatoes?" Yeah,
Yeah, like
Something where you eat the skin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Just
I mean,
like,
I generally wash everything too, but there's something I like about
scrub it. I have a brush for it. Like,
So I'm gonna do this for editing purposes so it goes smoothly. So I know we were talking about your art, but let's get into pasta. All right, I figure we could throw that at the end anyway. So.
Yeah.
Let's
see.
What were we even talking about before the fucking smoke detector incident?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I'm so glad
guys.
it was you.
No, it's okay.
Not me, because I was like, oh fuck, shit's going down.
My girlfriend came home and hit her grab, and our smoke alarms sometimes go off if we're fucking making those clouds.
That's why you just remove the smoke alarms. You don't need those things.
Yeah, carbon monoxide, fucking
Yeah,
Live on
dumb
the edge,
thing.
man.
I actually did that. I'm looking at it right now, sitting on my desk, like with
that's
no battery in it.
dangerous.
I live life on the edge.
You have, and you set a shirt on fire not too long ago.
Listen,
on the live stream.
Let's not talk about things that I do while we're working. All right,
Matt, there's a fire behind you.
What
Yeah,
did
with
you
my
have?
favorite
Did you have,
shirt, too.
Candles going on in the background next to a shirt.
Yeah, I always like if you I don't know, you're probably not even able to see, but yeah.
See,
There's
I'm all
candles
about
always.
that bucatini pasta, man.
See this? I got a Buddha, and this Buddha has
Bucatini.
to have a candle.
It's like spaghetti but hollow. Bucatini.
Well, you're back
Okay.
on the pasta thing.
Hey, I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Pasta.
Any bucatini
Pasta's a
fans
hell of
out
a
there,
thing.
shout out.
We're gonna constantly go back to pasta at some point.
so we've done some digging into this eerie sound sample sent in to us from a listener. It's brought me to this alleyway in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm about to walk into that studio and meet the producer of the record. Hey there, I'm Matt from American Slacker. I have a 3 p.m. appointment.
Here's his only appointment. You can go right in.
Okay.
Come in. Please have a seat. Could I get you a drink or anything? Matt, was it? Do you have a stage name you go by, or is it more like a kind of Springsteen thing?
No, sorry. I'm not here to record anything, but I do have a few questions for you regarding this record here.
This record. I remember this record. You know what a pain in the ass this record was to make? 1995, it was hot. The music on the radio was shit. On a peaceful summer afternoon, Icelandic metal began ripping a cold bolt of lightning through the boroughs of the city.
Okay, but back to the record. Do you recall this specific sound? It's at the end of track 5. I have it on my phone here.
I do. I remember that sound. The band, they came in with the disco sounds they wanted to use. They had collected them from early internet conspiracy theory message boards. That's one of the reasons this album was so hard to put together. I had to have personal correspondence with a bunch of crazies just to get permission to use the sounds.
Okay, well, we were hoping to find out where this specific sound came from.
You know, if you give me a few days, I'll look through my records and I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you. That would be perfect. If you can just send it to my email, that would be great. And until next time, that's it.
There you go. So we ended up getting a response from that producer. He said he searched his records and it turns out he couldn't find a name for the person that recorded the sound, but he did find an address.
Where is it?
Somewhere in Washington State.